Hello everyone. So our next topic would be dishonor of bill. Sir, what is the meaning of dishonor? When the holder of the bill, when the holder of the bill presents it to the drawee for the payment of the amount. When the holder of the bill presents it to the drawee for the payment of the bill, payment of the amount, if the drawee fails to pay the amount on the bill, then the bill is said to be dishonored. Sir, what is the meaning of dishonor? Let's understand with an example. Let's say we have Mr. A who sold 10,000 worth of goods to Mr. B on 1/1/2021, where he gave 3 months of credit period. So in that case, the date would be 1/4/2021, and after adding a gratuitous favor, that is nothing but 3 days grace, would be your due date. The due date is nothing but your 4th of April. So this is nothing but your due date. Yes or no? So that means on due date, if the holder of the bill presents it to the drawee, and if the drawee fails to make the payment on the bill, then the bill is said to be dishonored. That means dishonor of a bill A holding till the due date. That means the drawer is holding till the due date and the bill was dishonored. Yes or no? Next one. B. Bill was discounted. Bill was discounted with the banker, and on the due date, the bill was dishonored. Next option. Next scenario. The bill was endorsed. And on the due date, the bill was dishonored. And last scenario. Bill sent for collection, and on the due date, the bill was dishonored. So you are supposed to record the journal entries in the books of various parties when the bill was dishonored, in case if you are holding till the due date, if it was discounted, if it was endorsed, if it was sent for collection. So as we are supposed to record the journal entries in the books of drawer and drawee, now in the books of drawer, in the books of drawee. So your credit rupees, debit rupees. Credit rupees and debit rupees. Debit, credit. Debit, credit. Okay, now so this is nothing but your transaction. So as we are supposed to record the journal entries in the books of various parties, that is nothing but your drawer and a drawee. If the bill was dishonored, if it was holding till the due date and dishonored, if it was discounted with the banker and it was dishonored, and if it was endorsed and dishonored, and if it was sent for the purpose of collection and dishonored. So first one, what is the first scenario? So the drawee is holding till due date. Mr. A is nothing but drawer. Mr. A is a drawer, is holding till the due date. Mr. A is holding the bill till the due date, and on the due date, Mr. A approached Mr. B. On due date, Mr. A approached Mr. B for the payment of the 10,000 rupees, and Mr. B didn't pay the amount. Mr. B is not having the amount. In that case, that is nothing but the dishonor of bill. Non-payment of amount on the bill is nothing but your dishonor of a bill. So now, upon dishonor of a bill, so what is the journal entry in the books of drawer? What is the journal entry, sir? As Mr. B is not paying the amount on the bill, then that bill wouldn't be an asset to Mr. A. Yes or no? As Mr. B, as the drawee is not paying the amount on the bill, means if the bill was dishonored, then that bill wouldn't be an asset anymore to Mr. A. So in that case, you need to cancel that asset because it is no more an asset. Yes or no? And as the bill was cancelled, that means as the asset was cancelled, so now Mr. B is supposed to pay. Sir, what is the logic here? Upon raising the bill, the form of the asset was changed. The form of the asset was changed from the debtor to bills receivable. Yes or no? Upon raising the bill, the form of the asset was changed from the debtor to bills receivable. Then in case of cancellation of this bill, then here it is nothing but the reversal of that raising the bill entry. Yes or no? It is no more an asset. So now we need to cancel it. So to cancel that, what is the journal entry, sir? The journal entry would be, for cancellation of bill, the journal entry would be to bills receivable account. We are cancelling the bill. Now what need to be debited here? What need to be debited? Drawee need to be debited because upon raising the bill, you have cancelled Mr. Drawee and you raised the bill. Yes or no? Now upon cancellation, you just need to reverse that entry. What is the journal entry, sir? Drawee account debit to bills receivable. What is the logic, sir? So here you are raising Mr. Drawee again. So you are treating Mr. Drawee as a debtor again. Yes or no? So what is the journal entry? Drawee account debit to bills receivable. So what is the amount, sir? The amount would be 10,000 rupees debit, 10,000 rupees credit. Now, what is the journal entry in the books of drawee? What is the journal entry in the books of drawee if the bill was dishonored on the due date? What is the journal entry, sir? Upon raising the, what is the logic here? Upon accepting the bill, the form of the liability was changed from the creditor to the bills payable. Yes or no? Upon accepting the bill, the form of the liability was changed from the creditor to bills payable. Now, upon cancellation, the journal entry would be, what would be the journal entry? The exact opposite. You just need to reverse that entry. Yes or no? So now what is the journal entry, sir? The journal entry would be bills payable account debit to, sorry, instead of creditor, what is the journal entry, sir? Drawer. Instead of creditor, drawer account. Yes or no? How much was the amount? The amount would be 10,000 debit, 10,000 credit. Now, B. The bill was discounted with the banker. The bill was discounted with the banker. So let us understand here. Let's say we are having Mr. A and Mr. B, where he sold 10,000 worth of goods. So as Mr. A is in need of money, he discounted with the banker. He discounted with the banker. Now, who is holding the bill? Mr. SBI is holding the bill. So on due date, who would be approaching Mr. B? The banker would be approaching Mr. B. Yes or no? Now, so as Mr. SBI is approaching Mr. B didn't pay the amount. Yes or no? Mr. B didn't pay the amount. In that case, Mr. SBI, upon discounting itself, we understood the logic there, that instead of giving the money to the customers, the bankers would be raising the account. Yes or no? For protecting themselves in these type of situations, dishonors. For protecting themselves in case of these situations, the bankers instead of giving the cash to the customers upon discounting, they would be increasing the accounts. That means the bankers would be allowed to discount the bills if the customers are having the account in the bankers. That means if A is having the account in the SBI only, if A is having the account in the SBI, now okay, let us understand with a example. Let's say we are having Mr. A who sold 10,000 worth of goods to Mr. B. So as Mr. A is in need of money, he discounted the bill with the banker. Yes or no? So after discounting the bill, on the due date, Mr. SBI approached Mr. B for the payment of the amount on the bill, and Mr. B failed to pay the amount. So in that case, the bill is said to be dishonored. Yes or no? Now let us understand here. So as the bill was dishonored, Mr. SBI, upon discounting itself, instead of giving the cash to the customers, they increased the account. Yes or no? So for protecting themselves from these type of situations, the bankers would allow those customers who is having an account in the bank for the purpose of discounting the bill. The bankers would allow those customers who is having an account in their bank only for discounting the bill, to protect themselves from these type of situations. Now, so upon discounting, they raised his account. So if the bill was dishonored, if the bill was dishonored, means SBI would be decreasing his account. Yes or no? In this case, Mr. SBI would be decreasing Mr. A's account, and Mr. A is supposed to pay Mr. SBI, and he need to receive from Mr. B. Yes or no? Now, Mr. A need to receive from Mr. B and Mr. A need to pay to SBI. Yes or no? So, what is the journal entry in the books of drawer when the bill was discounted with the banker and it was dishonored? What is the journal entry in the books of drawer, sir? Discounted with bank and dishonored. What is the journal entry? Drawer need to receive from Mr. B, that is a drawee, and he need to pay to the banker. Yes or no? So what is the journal entry? As the drawer need to receive from Mr. B, so he would be an asset. Drawee account debit. And the drawer need to pay to the banker. Yes or no? The drawer need to pay to the banker. So, to bank account. What is the journal entry? The journal entry would be drawee account debit to bank account, because from drawee he need to receive. So, we are raising an asset. To banker, he need to pay. It is nothing but a liability. That is nothing but decrease in your bank balance. So, now, what is the journal entry in the books of drawee if the bill was dishonored, which was discounted with the banker? What is the journal entry in the books of drawee, sir? What is the journal entry? So, as the bill was dishonored, it would be no more a liability. As the bill was dishonored, it would be no more a liability. So, to cancellation of liability, what is the journal entry? So, bills payable account debit 10,000, and as the bill was dishonored, Mr. B need to pay to Mr. A. So, to drawer account 10,000. Yes or no? Now, let's continue. So, we need to record the journal entry in the books of bank also. So, upon dishonor of a bill, what is the journal entry in the books of bank, sir? In the bank, the bill would no more be an asset. The bill would no more an asset to the banker, and the banker would be reducing the customer's account. Yes or no? What is the journal entry? The journal entry would be customer account debit to discounted bills. Customer account debit to discounted bills 10,000. So upon discounting, the customer account was credited. Go and check. Yes or no? Upon discounting, the banker increased the bank account of the customer, and if the bill was dishonored, then the banker would be decreasing the customer account, and it would be no more an asset to the banker. So we are cancelling the discounted bills account, which is nothing but an asset. Yes or no? Next, continue. See, endorsement or endorsed bill. So you have endorsed the bill and the bill was dishonored. Sir, what is the meaning of endorsed bill dishonored? Let us understand with an example here. Let's say Mr. A sold goods to Mr. B worth of 10,000 rupees. Yes or no? Now, so as Mr. A purchased goods from Mr. X, let's say 10,000 worth of goods. So instead of paying the cash to Mr. X, Mr. A gave the bill which was accepted by Mr. B to the X. So on due date, who is holding the bill? Mr. X is holding the bill. Yes or no? As Mr. X is holding the bill, on due date, Mr. X would approach Mr. B. On due date, Mr. X would approach Mr. B and Mr. B is supposed to pay the amount, but in our case, the bill was dishonored. He is not paying the amount. Yes or no? Upon presenting the bill by the endorsee to drawee failed to pay the amount. As the drawee failed to pay the amount, Mr. A need to receive from Mr. B. Mr. A need to receive from Mr. B and he need to pay to Mr. X. Yes or no? As the bill was dishonored on the due date, Mr. A need to receive from Mr. B and Mr. A need to pay to Mr. X. Yes or no? So what is the journal entry in the books of drawer upon endorsing the bill, sir? The journal entry would be drawee account debit, because you are raising an asset in the name of drawee. Yes or no? Two. Upon dishonor, there would be a liability to Mr. X. That means we need to pay to Mr. X. Yes or no? So, to endorsee account. This is nothing but a this is nothing but an asset. This is nothing but a liability upon dishonor of the bill. Now, what is the journal entry in the books of drawee? What is the journal entry in the books of drawee upon dishonor of a bill which was endorsed? What is the journal entry, sir? That means, what is the journal entry in the books of Mr. B? What is the journal entry, sir? As the bill was dishonored, to Mr. B, the bill would no more be a liability. So we need to cancel the liability. Yes or no? So what is the journal entry to cancel the liability? To bills payable account debit. Bills payable account debit 10,000. We are cancelling the bill because it would no more be a liability because it was dishonored. To whom he need to pay? To Mr. A. So bills payable account debit to drawer account. How much was the amount? The amount would be 10,000 rupees. Yes or no? Now we need to record the journal entry in the books of the drawee also. Sorry, endorsee also. Yes or no? So endorsee. So on due date, as the bill was dishonored, the bill would no more be an asset. As the bill was dishonored, the asset would no more be an asset. The bills receivable would no more be an asset. So we need to cancel the bills receivable. Yes or no? To cancelling the bills receivable is to bills receivable. We are cancelling the asset. What need to be debited, sir? So Mr. X need to receive from Mr. A. So in that case, he is raising Mr. A. That is nothing but his debtor. So what is the journal entry? The journal entry would be endorser account debit 10,000 to bills receivable 10,000. As this is no more an asset, so we are cancelling the asset and we are raising an asset in the name of Mr. A, that is endorser. We are treating him as we are raising a debtor account. That's it. Next one. Bills sent for collection and it was dishonored. So what is the journal entry, sir? Upon bills sent for collection and the bills were dishonored. So as the bills was dishonored, these bills sent for collection, which is nothing but an asset, would no more be an asset. Yes or no? So we need to cancel these assets. So this temporary asset which is nothing but bills sent for collection would no more be an asset, so we are cancelling the asset by crediting it. What need to be debited, sir? So as the bill sent for collection was dishonored, that means Mr. A, the drawer, need to receive from Mr. Drawee because of endorsement. Yes or no? So what is the journal entry? The journal entry would be drawee account debit 10,000 to bills sent for collection 10,000. What is the journal entry in the books of drawee? What is the journal entry in the books of drawee upon dishonor of bill which was sent for collection? What is the journal entry, sir? As it no more be a liability because of dishonor, Mr. B, that means drawee, need to cancel that liability. So for cancelling the liability, the journal entry would be bills payable account debit 2. So as the bills was dishonored, so Mr. B need to pay to Mr. A. Yes or no? So what is the journal entry? Bills payable account debit to drawer account. So this is nothing but your 10,000. 10,000. So these are the journal entries in the books of various parties. In case of dishonor of a bill, if it was holding till the due date, if it was discounted with the banker, if it was endorsed, or if it was sent for collection. So here, let us understand the logic here. Whatever may be the case, upon dishonor, whatever may be the case, the drawee account is always debited in the books of drawer. Whatever may be the case, the drawee upon dishonor, the drawee account is always debited because the drawer need to receive from the drawee. He has been treated, so he has been treated as a debtor. As a drawer need to receive money from the drawee account is always debited, and the person who is holding the bill is credited. So in case of in case of discounting, the banker is holding the bill, so we are crediting the banker. In case of endorsement bill, so the endorsee is holding the bill, so we have credited endorsee. In case of bill sent for collection, you have sent to bill sent for collection. Who is holding the bill? It is in bill sent for collection, so we are crediting bill sent for collection. And whatever may be the case, upon dishonor of a bill, in the books of drawee, bills payable is always debited and the drawer account is always credited. Whatever may be the case, upon dishonor of a bill, in the books of drawee, the bills payable account is always debited because we are cancelling the liability. And the drawer account is always credited because we are raising the drawer account. So, or we are raising the drawer account, or Mr. Drawee need to pay to the drawer. Are you getting? As Mr. Drawee need to pay to Mr. Drawer, the drawer account is always credited. So this is the logic behind your journal entries in the books of various parties in case of dishonor of bill. I hope you all understood. Thank you very much.